ladies and gentlemen, we come to now match 7 of the Atlantic Challenge Cup here in Chicago. It's another singles match, this time the boys, so I'm going to introduce the players. First of all, from Europe, please give a big hand for Vitali Patsura. From Team USA, give a big hand for Shane Wolford. So that's it for me. Back to the commentary box with Mark Wilson and Upstate Al. Gentlemen, good luck and we'll for the break.
Come on, Shane. Europe.
This is continuing coverage of the Atlantic Challenge Cup. Welcome aboard, pool fans. The U.S. currently trails 4-2 after a decisive victory by Chris Robinson from Ventura, California. My name is Mark Wilson, alongside his terrific color commentator, Al Leon. Al, how important was that last win, and what should we be looking for in this next one?
Well, how you doing, Mark? How important was it? Made a big difference. 4-2, and then it would be 5-1 if USA was defeated in that match. Right now, we need a repeat, and I say we need a repeat because I'm kind of biased. I'm rooting for the USA team. So I'm hoping Shane, he lives out of Virginia, and he's got plenty of accomplishments under his belt, like his opponent does. But I'm hoping Shane can pull this one out. I said it from day one that he looks like a baby Hatch, a small Dennis Hatch with his build, and guess who's on premises, folks? Dennis Hatch coming to show support for USA.
That's cool. It's great to see him and all the support from the other pros that are here. Shane Wolford hails from Virginia, 16 years old, but he looks composed beyond his years. We watched him. He looked very calm yesterday in this match. He's up against Vitali Patsura, 18 years old, hails from Kiev in Ukraine. Yeah, a very important match here. There we get a good look at Shane Wolford.
And before we actually get underway, real quick, folks, I'd like to say give a big shout out to CSI and AZ Billiards for supporting the live stream, and so everybody else can enjoy it out there for free, along with all the sponsors you see across the arena right there, and some that we'll mention periodically through this match. Because without everybody pulling together with the BCA, definitely wouldn't have been possible. And this is something that I was looking forward to. I was excited, and I'm glad I'm here, Mark. And I'm finally glad to meet the captain himself.
Yeah, it's a pleasure is all mine. Privilege, honor, just to be here. 2 great teams going head-to-head. This is the Super Bowl of juniors pool. You have to be 18 years old or under. You can participate, and you have to be in the elite class of that group. 6 players from each team, 4 men and 2 women. There we get a good look at Rick Donner examining the rack. He's our presiding referee.
And Mr. Vitali says it's time to go, so he's ready to break. And keep in mind, if you're just watching and just signing on to the live stream, that this is the format of alternate breaks. So you'll see USA break next, even if Mr. Vitali should win this first game, as the 1 falls into the side pocket, and the 2's going to dress up.
Illegal break, though.
But it's illegal.
Yeah.
Good point. I keep forgetting about that illegal break, and what Mark is mentioning is 3 balls actually have to pass the head string. Unless 1 ball pockets, then 2 balls have to pass the head string, and so on. So that is an illegal break, and I think we did some calculations the other night, and it was like 40% of the time there was practically an illegal break.
Well, that percentage has gone up significantly because in the last match there was hardly a rack that went by that was not an illegal break, despite the fact that they were pocketing balls.
Right.
So it's a little different style, a little different rules. Wolford comes to the table with the 4 ball lodged over there by the 8, but he can go right into it. He can hit the 8 or the 4 right now. Getting position on the 3 after doing so, and he was just a little bit split-minded on that shot. He hadn't focused on just making the 2. That's a shot that was routine enough that you'd perfectly expect him to get it every time.
Yeah, he was thinking about how that kiss is going to come off, how the cue ball is going to come off the 8 ball or the 4 ball, and what's going to happen to it. And something you got to determine before you actually get down there in your stroke, and that'll take your vision right off. But this is not the easiest of shots. Jacked up over the 6 ball. Of course, Mr. Vitali made it look easy, but he's going to get close to his work here. Watch the cue ball. He's almost married to the 3. And you heard confirmation, and if you didn't, on the audio mic that's out there above the table, Mr. Rick, the referee, says that they are frozen.
He's going to have to do a good job dropping the cue ball 2 cushions down below the 7. Side rail, side rail.
48.
Oh, he tried to bring it in short. That's not going to work, is it? No. All right.
All right, this is Shane's second opportunity to get to the table with a shot.
Both players thus far with an unforced error, and that really is what dictates the outcome of these matches. It's not the great shot making, but it's who makes the most unforced errors.
You know, Shane looks like he's kind of straight in here. I'm not sure if he can cheat the outside of this pocket and come around 2 rails for the 4 ball down in the bottom left-hand corner or not, but the way he's shooting it, it looks like he can.
Little high left. Preserved a nice angle to get to the 5 now. He just needs to stun the cue ball back out just to the center of the table. If you go too far on this next shot will play real difficult as far as getting position. But if you come a little short, you're quite fine.
You know, the center of the table is really the comfort zone is where you want to be on a lot of the shots. But you definitely want to preserve the angle, like Mark said. And Shane's got the angle. I'm not sure if it's too severe of an angle or not. We're going to get a look at it right after we see his facial expression. And Shane says it's good.
Yeah, he hit the last ball a little heavy. It grazed the rail on the way in. Took a little of the pace out of the cue ball. Wow. Yeah, that was particularly quick backswing right there. And you can see the side spin. He had some right-hand English on the cue ball that was unintended or unnecessary.
Well, it looks like it might be a small piece of the 9 ball that Mr. Vitali might have to jump over to try to attempt to pocket this 5 ball on the side. As you see him right there.
Extension use.
And uses his extension. See Mr. Nick Varner and Allison Fisher and Johnny Archer there in the background.
Some of the brain trust of the coaching staff, Team USA. Looks like he's going to go all out to make this ball.
Side pocket shots on the jump shots, the points come into effect, but not here. He split it.
Drilled that one home. We're playing a race to 6, 9 ball. The 9 does count on the break. We're using a 35-second shot clock.
Yes, we are.
1 extension per rack. That's Rob Johnson filming, and Shane Tyree. That's the brain trust of the BCA. And they're one of the presenting sponsors here, along with the EPBF, the European Pocket Billiard Federation. Those are the people that make this happen in conjunction with some
hit
of
it good,
our
but look
general
at the drift of the cue ball. He's okay. Yes, without them, Mark, definitely wouldn't have been possible with all the people. I understood people jumped on board to make this happen, and I'll tell you what, it's well worth it.
Yeah, to make the sport grow, you're going to have to give a little, plant the seeds here. Nice speed there. He's able to glide past the 8 without rubbing it.
Yeah, I never liked the cue ball near the rail or on the rail like this, especially when it comes down to shooting the 8 or the 7, 8, 9, and you wind up in a position like that.
He's going to have to play the 9 back in the pocket where he's standing now, the side pocket, I think. Although he's queuing up as if he can go 2 cushions. Oh, boy. That's a blessing for the U.S. right there.
It is, but it's really not that bad. He actually, I think, still has the cut shot into the side pocket. The cue ball is going to be real hot coming off of here, but I think he can control it.
Close range, these balls you tend to hit them too thick, so you have to overcut it a little bit. He did and missed it.
Well, Shane's third opportunity to come to the table. This time he comes with the 9 ball shot for the win, but the shot is difficult, cut right into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, we're seeing some opening rack jitters. That's 2 unforced errors per player so far. Oftentimes you'll go several games in a row and not see any unforced errors.
Extension used.
Good look at Patsura. Shane's looking at playing a bank and get the cue ball long.
Well, I like the bank because if you do miss it, sometimes you come back out with the 9 ball and heads towards the emblem on the short rail. If you don't hit it,
How do you hit
he
it?
hit it perfect. Watch the rock. USA opens up 1-0 in a race to 6. They're trailing 4-2 overall. They are pumped. You can feel the heat, and we are in a separate room. We requested to be in a separate room surrounded by a huge cinder block wall because the enthusiasm that we're going to spit out during this match and throughout the whole event, we don't want to disturb the players.
That was a big shot there. Kind of made up for a couple of those unforced errors and tilted momentum back on Team USA's side. Came into this match off a big win, and now we got a little something going here, 1-0.
You know, I'm foreseeing the future a little bit. And you know, they say don't count your chickens before they hatch. But, you know, if Team USA, let's say, defeats in these singles, they already defeated the first singles match. Let's say they defeat Europe in this match, and they happen to defeat them in the next match. The word between them now as a pep talk is, hey, we can do it as a singles. Let's do it as a team, and let's go all the way with this since we got them. You know, it could be a big turnaround.
Upcoming will be a big women's singles match, and it'll feature April Larson for the U.S., and can't read my own writing here.
Diana Kajova.
Kajova, that's right. That's actually, I think that's Jerry Forsythe's writing, because he must have been a doctor in a previous life here.
He doctors everything, even his car.
No, I meant his writing here was similar.
No, I know.
Anyway, all right, Shane Wolford will be at the table and breaking.
Watch the 1 ball here towards the side pocket. He hits them nice and square and solid. It bobbled. The 9's on the run, but not heading anywhere, threatening to go in.
Break anyway. Most unfortunately, it's. I mean, now it's just getting to be almost every single time illegal break. What that means, it's not actually a foul. It just means that Vitali could pass the table back should he not like the arrangement of the balls, but he's close to the 1 and figures to be able to do something with the ball. Safety play in order here. All ball fouls, that's why you see referee Rick Donner looking on. Fair shot, not a great shot.
Yeah, I kind of like bringing the cue ball on that shot behind the 5, you know, possibly for the safety, but nevertheless, Shane's back up at the table.
You can take the 1 on here, and the cue ball will sometimes graze the high side of the 9 and put the 9 pocketward. No, straight away safe, and he hit it good. Look at that
I
shot.
like the way he hit that. Boy, oh boy, is that sending a statement that I'm in it to win it.
Here's Earl Munson, coach. In the background, we saw April Larson with her little headband on. She wears braces. She's always smiling. She brightens up the whole room when she enters it. She's got that positive energy.
Mr. Vitali back up at the table with the jump cue. His favorite player, by the way, is Mika Immonen.
Big bent elbow allows his head to come forward. He got right over it. No problem. Good shot. That's going to work out pretty nice given the position and predicament that he was in. Now, Wolford jacked up with an awkward safety play. Left-handed player, big powerful stroke. Double kisses by accident. Left a shot here.
And the 2-ball does go right past the 8 into the opposite corner down below.
A lot of work, but open layout.
You know, by the looks of the coach on the Euro side, with that facial expression, he's not really sure himself if that whether the 2 goes or you can get position for the 2. But from here, it looks like you can. From our vantage point, yeah, he sure can.
Very smooth. All the balls go. He just has to manage the layout now. You know, team pool is a funny thing because there's a different kind of pressure than when you're playing by yourself because you don't want to let your teammates down, you know, and you're thinking that.
Right.
We're not as familiar with playing that style.
But it was played a little more rapidly than this. This seems like it's a little more deliberate. Let's take every second you need in your singles match. You know, that's what it looks like here. You know, in the team match, it seemed like everybody was trying to play a little bit quicker.
He had remarkable talent on display at this young age. I couldn't even hit a ball when I was 18, or barely.
Well, I heard you couldn't drop a ball and hit the floor, but that's not meaning anything. I mean, you can still play pool. If you're fishing out there, you're in the wrong place. A cue ball across the table, and Mr. Vitali winds up good on the 6, and guess what? It looks like it's just going to be one-stop shopping from here as the 7 ball goes into the right-hand side pocket.
Can he roll it? Can he stop it? Or does he have to go into the rail and come back out?
You know, he can jack up because he's really firing into a big pocket. It really doesn't create that much difficulty if he wants to jack up. But if he can just slow roll it like that, good shot. I like using that one rail better than just trying to slow roll it because you wind up with a back cut into the corner. This makes it a little bit easier. Spin out 2 rails, natural position for the 9 ball.
Okay, good 2-cushion shot. Nice speed. This 9 ball is all that remains from having a tied match. And score now 1 apiece, Al.
1 apiece, and I guess Shane's fantastic save in the initial opening worked for just a little while as Mr. Vitali is sunk the 9.
Yeah.
1-1.
What kind of tipped that around was Vitali's jump shot from an awkward position. He made a good hit and forced Shane to have to play yet another safety, and then from that, Vitali was able to worm his way around, get the open layout. That was a well-played game, though. There really wasn't any drastic errors in that one.
Well, this is the junior talent that everybody's going to look forward to seeing these young men and women if they decide to stay within the pool and billiards industry and world. I'm sure they are going to be up there with the world champions at one time or another.
I know I look forward to and will enjoy having many of them as members of the Lindenwood University Billiards team.
And I know you would. I don't know if you guys, I know some of you have met Mark Wilson. When you talk to Mark about youth and pool and billiards, prepare yourself to sit down for 3 days because, and I don't mean that in a bad way, and that's just touching the iceberg, sort of say. You can see it and feel it in Mark's tone of voice and his expressions, how bad he wants to pick this game up and make it so famous and bring it to a level where it belongs.
Yeah, I'm excited about the future, you know, and no one's really tried to grow the future for so long that it's now bereft of any exposure or positivity, and that's what we hope to bring back to the sport, is get the energy and get the support of the older players and younger players and nurture them, and rather than pool players notoriously have eaten their young in the past and alienated them.
Right.
Here you see Johnny Archer, Allison Fisher, Jeanette Lee, Nick Varner, all nurturing it along. It's very
Tom
inspiring.
Rossman. Yeah.
Cut break, legal break. That's unusual.
And a wide open table to boot.
Even the referee's job was easy. There was nothing in the way of the magic rack. First shot after the break, you do get 60 seconds. Survey the table. Thereafter, it's just 35-second shot clock. One extension per rack.
Anytime that cue ball is past the side pocket where it is now, becomes a stretch. But this young man is kind of tall. He might not have any problems with this.
I feel like he's going to need the bridge, but I'd be amazed if he stabs at it. Oh, he is tall and lanky.
Yeah.
That's balls past the diamond, past the side pocket. He got to it effortlessly.
This is a little touchy. You want to make sure that you get the right angle, either, you know, up table or down table. I prefer to be up table on this angle here to get to the 6 ball.
Yeah, most all pros don't want to have to bang into the 9. If you get down table, you'd have that angle where you have to back cut the 5, and that's problematic. So even if you only just rolled the cue ball ahead 3 inches, that would be very playable.
Right. I mean, if he gets kind of straight, but, you know, holds a little bit of an angle, sort of say up table, he can go out to 2 rails, you know, go forward with it and accept the longer shot if he gets in trouble. See what Mr. Vitali has in mind here. Yeah, he's just going to do that. Again, playing along the rail side really doesn't have too much of an effect here because you're going to be hitting a high ball anyway.
Looks like he's going to need just a touch of left English to make sure he avoids the 9 and 7. And he does not want to risk going into the side pocket, so you're going to have to introduce just a little bit more than just a little and get that second cushion to bounce away. No, perfect. Was able to do that one cushion and pick up the perfect angle to slide to the center of the table.
Isn't that something?
Nice.
Very well played.
Mm-hmm.
At 18 years old, keep that in mind. And I'll tell you what, some of his accomplishments, I'll read them off to you. He's got 1 gold and 6 bronze medals at Youth European Championships. Wow. You know, I had the opportunity to talk to the coach and some of the folks, senior folks from the Euro team, and the way they have their sports set up as far as billiards and everything is really unique, and the support they get out there is really special. And I think it's something that the United States should take into consideration and maybe trying to replicate something like it.
Yeah, terrific position play there, and I agree with what you're saying, Al, but that was a tremendous shot.
Yeah, great shot.
A nice 3-cushion position. Got himself back in line here pretty well. And 2-1 is our score with a great break and run out now. That was big. Big time for Team Europe there.
Team high fives right across the board,
Yeah,
right there.
I would be too if I was on their team. It was really well done. Got a little out of line on his second to last ball, but he made a great recovery shot. Yeah, they really do nurture it. When we were talking to Dave with the European Billiard Federation of how they have youth tournaments, and they'll have a tour, and the winner of the tour gets to go to the following year is invited to play in all the pro events, airfare, hotel, and entry fee.
Against the pros.
Against the pros. And then the person that gets second place gets 3 events that they get airfare, hotel.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
And they get sponsorship from outside the industry, you know, which is nice.
Yeah, very inspiring. When I was 18, it was recommended to me that maybe give up pool and take up crocheting potentially would have been a better choice. So, yeah,
well, that's that straight pool game will do that to you.
Yeah.
Make you want to have something to do while you're sitting there and somebody runs out 125 on you.
You know, in terms of maturity, a couple of years here, age difference, 16 and 18. Shane Wolford getting a breaker now from the U.S. being 16. You would think that would mean a lot in terms of your capacity to focus and play high-level pool. Once in a while, you'll see somebody young come up, be able to handle it. But it puts a lot of immense pressure on yourself, performing for your team at that age.
It's a legal break this time as 1 ball was pocketed and 3 balls actually went past the head string.
Comes down table, take a look at potentially how he's going to play safe from here as opposed to risking a difficult shot to a difficult position type play. It's not an easy safety at all. If he tries to introduce backspin on the cue ball, the 2 ball could easily get too hot and come away from the 5 and the 8. Looks like he's trying to put the 2 ball over by the 5 and 8. If he rolls it, he can scratch.
Looks like he's going the opposite way now. And they
He
try to
do.
use the 8-4.
They have pretty darn knowledgeable shot. So grab your jump cue there, Vitali. Save yourself the walk. Great camera angle there. Now this ball will pocket the 6 if he hits it just right. A combination shot. He's not going to choose his option to use his extension. And gets the shot off with 4 seconds to go. Pockets the 6. Not sure what he picked up on the 2 ball here.
Well, he picked up AT&T. This is long distance right here. And not only that, he's got a little angle to come back out for the 3. I mean, there's really not much to do here. As long as he's got this whole 2 ball, just concentrate on making this 2 ball. And the 2 ball's naturally coming for the 3.
He kept his jump cue in his hand,
look
so
at
he
this.
has to go over.
He's got to go over a piece of the 9.
Airborne.
Maybe
Wow.
He might want to keep that in his hand for a little while longer. No. The cue ball finds a side pocket, and Shane jumps out of his seat like a moth to a flame. He's ready. Shot clock down to 16 seconds, 15 in the background. I don't believe he's going to try to play the 7 in the side pocket. I think he's going to try to come back up on top and shoot it in the corner.
Yeah, this is the right angle for a left-handed player. A little more awkward for a right-handed player. Play it like this. Looks like he was thinking about going across table.
Extension used.
Good choice. Use your extension now. There's nothing to save it for, as this is going to be the shot that most likely dictates the rack.
He did play for the side pocket because that's the angle he had. He can go naturally into it. I was wondering if he was going to try that. It makes the shot a little bit easier here as he can roll forward for the 8.
Yeah, that was a good decision and good execution. Team USA likes it. 2 balls away from tying this match up.
Never heard of the commentator's curse, have you? Not
No.
this time, buddy. 2-2. USA. Shane answering back. The team's excited. Serena Black up on her feet. One of the great sponsors there, PredatorCues.com, new maestro.
Yeah, they really support the sport, much like Simonis.
That Evo shaft.
I always say this. You could give me a different brand of cloth, but I'm still buying Simonis for all they do. And plus, it's a great product.
You're not
It's the
kidding.
best
Talking
product.
about Simonis, I saw Ivan Lee here. Ivan Lee of Simonis stopped in for about 10 minutes, and he said he'll be back tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, great guy.
Sure is. And the best cloth you can use in the world. Par none. Bar none. Here we go. We're going to go into rack number 5, tied at 2.
Patsura will be breaking. His ambition is to become a professional pool player and billiards coach. So, admirable pursuit.
I understand every one of these players have their own personal coach. Not here on premises, but they do. Is what I was told. Or was that something I dreamt up?
Illegal break yet again. No, I heard the same thing. That most of them, I don't know if it was every one of them, but most of them have a personal coach. Naturally, that would help. Even Tiger Woods has a coach. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. Any more? Yeah, I've heard that. I just want to be his caddy just for one season.
Yes.
So you want to go first or we go first? Whatever you want. Or ask or be next. Oh, go.
All right, Wolford. I hope he's not looking at this combination.
He sure is.
I hope not. This would be borderline suicidal here. Or the greatest pocket billiard shot ever under pressure.
He's trying to take this on. Or is he going to roll up on the 4-ball?
I don't know, but shooting the combination is not the answer. He's going to give it back. Now, the combination plays a little bit easier if you're forced to play it, but I don't even think we're going to see that in that particular instance. I think you're way better served percentage-wise to play safe. This is a big shot here in this match. 2-2 is our score. Yeah. That was good judgment.
He left just enough of the 2-ball out there where Shane can actually play it off the 4 to bring it down towards the short cushion at the bottom part of your monitor and bring the cue ball possibly up behind the 3 here, using the 3-8 as a blockers. Well, he didn't use the 4, but the cue ball's trying to find the 3.
That's a nice shot.
Boy, did he find it. That's a 3-8-6 combination right there.
Yo. Good job there. Good composure. You know, we got fans tuning in from as far away I know of as London, England.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to send a big shout out to Beevor. He used to be a former Lindenwood Line billiards player, billiard star. He moved to England, and he sent me a text.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of thought he was going to get fortunate, but he didn't. Shane has a shot. On that note, we want to say thank you to Mr. Papa Tony, Darren Appleton's dad, who's actually tuned in, and Darren Appleton himself.
Okay, Shane just needs to get back just past the center of the table will be ideal. Pick up position on the paint 4. That's the angle he's looking at right now to get to the orange 5 off of that. Yeah, good shot. Picked up the angle that he measured out beforehand. That's a good pool.
You know, Shane is so solid. I can't believe that he missed that opening 2-ball. Remember when it was an illegal break by Vitali? And they took his eye off it because he didn't know what was going to happen to the cue ball at the time, so he was undecided. And I said he's so solid from the beginning because this is his game that you're watching right here. And as I say that, I can do this on cue. I can give him the commentator's curse. So is there anything you want me to do to put it on somebody? I can. Wow.
I just have to say that a lot of these shots have been coming off shorter than the players are anticipating, and they've yet to really account for that. Most all the kicks have been missed short, and now this position was well short. He can go well behind the side pocket and have no problems. You just cannot scratch.
It's so big right here at 2-2, you know.
Yeah.
Put another statement and a beat on the USA side right here. Well, there's nothing Shane can do now but sit in his seat right now and blow it off and come back and at your inning and just play another day in funland here. I say funland, but these guys are so serious. You know, this shot right here could be funny. This shot here. You really got to get decent position on this 8-ball so you don't have to do too much by sending it up table and down because that could just make things a little bit worse. He hit it perfect.
He really did.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to roll ahead 6 inches now. Now he comes over and acts like he's going to draw, which would suggest he has a little angle, just a hint of an angle going down table if he draws. Double checks his aim.
Again, getting close to that rail.
Extension used.
Pressure ball. If he wiggles his head or lunges, that's when a miss can occur. Otherwise, a routine 9. 3-2, Europe. All these European players exhibit pretty decent mechanics, too. You look at their swings. Pretty solid.
Yep, just like the USA. some of the achievements of Mr. Shane Wolford, 2011 Super Billiards Expo under 12-year-old champion. Now, keep in mind, in 2011, this young man here was 11 years old. Okay, it's under 11. 2013, he won the under 17 championship. In 2015, the Super Billiards Expo under 17 championship. What is that, back to back? And then the junior champion, Commonwealth Games champion, and the men's 9-ball Commonwealth Games champion. And then also the Scotch doubles Commonwealth Games champion. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's so nice to see players of that age and accomplish so much at a young age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that spurs them on for down the road, that's for sure.
Well, this is the big stage right here, isn't it?
It's the Super Bowl of juniors pool.
There you go.
You know, we got to spend a little time with Serena Black's coach, Dave. We had breakfast with him.
Mr. Dave Carr, right?
Yeah. Great guy.
Here we go. Last time Shane broke, it was a legal break as he pocketed a ball and 3 balls still went past the head string. Let's watch it here.
2 ball on the wing.
Cue ball.
Scratched on the break. That's the height of an illegal break. Ball in hand. That was not what they needed right here with an open layout.
Seven ball being on the rail like that is like it's a difficult ball even though it's there, you know, and it's got nothing in front of it. But I think pocketing the 3 ball and maybe brushing that 7 ball might be a little bit of a shot that Mr. Vitali might want to come up with, because you'll be heading in the direction of the 4 anyway. You just want to brush it just enough. What do you think, Mark?
No, I don't think he should move the 7.
Don't move it at all?
Nope. Too risky. He really wants to get out and put the super pressure on.
Right.
It's just not laying right for that. That's just what he was measuring up, is avoiding the 7.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to get so straight on it just to draw it back for the 4 ball with some spin.
Yeah, I think he feels confident that he can get well enough on the 7 that he can take his chances there rather than try to be cute. Maybe have to play from out of line the rest of the rack for trying to go into it. I love the idea of removing it, but this was not the time to do it.
You know, this shot here, he's going to have to power draw the cue ball back, I believe, here. And he's got to make sure he gets under that 5. You know, that 5 is going to become real large as that cue ball starts to roll past it. So let's watch this cue ball action. Oh,
yeah, he has a very powerful stroke, too. I watched his backspin shot last night. Nice shot.
Beautiful. Yep.
It's very smooth, somewhat effortless. Comes over to check the angle.
Do you like being under this 7 ball and shooting it up in the
No.
furthest corner? Right.
No, because I'm scared to death. I want to get close in the closest pocket.
For some reason, those pockets, those tips of those side pockets grow when you try that. And that's why he has to be on top of it.
I, like you, would have been thinking of every way to move the 7 on the 3-ball shot, but I know from experience that will really sting you. And that experience has been earned the expensive and hard way.
Yeah.
Now, if he could go 3 rails, that plays a little better than 1 rail, unless he's super thin on the 5.
Extension used.
The 3 rails we're talking about, side
Yeah.
rail, end rail, side rail.
Can he finesse it and spin it that much? Looks like he's going 1 rail here.
Yep, good call. Does not want to get real straight now. Yeah, that's going to make the 8. He's not going to be able to get close to the 8 now.
looking to follow this up. He's looking to follow it up and try to spin out to get to the left side of the table here. It's quite a feat to do something like that, and there's a possibility if he tries to really power through the 7-ball that he'll miss it. He did it.
He powered through it. Nice shot. That was a professional shot.
Solid.
Really was. Stayed down, got through the cue ball. Nice follow through. Cue ball was responsive.
I'm just telling everybody out there in the listening area that lives in the United States, if you can make it down here this weekend, come on down and get behind the USA. You won't regret it. You're watching the cream of the crop here.
Pretty smooth shot. Getting position on the 9 there. Sorry.
Quite all right. I was just going to say for our juniors.
Stays down, completes the run. Europe 4, USA 2.
We got a timeout, so I think our producer is going to run some ads during this timeout, and we'll be right back.
Oh my God. Force it forward. Wow.
Okay, we're back. 4-2, Europe in front. We're on a timeout.
Well, you know, I think it was a good time to take a timeout. You know, things started to spiral for Shane, and get out there and get a fresh outlook and slap some water on your face, whatever you got to do to get yourself out of that spiral. Do it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times people say you should come back and pretend the match is 0-0. I'm a little bit the opposite. I think you should come back and play the match as if it's hill-hill and fight for everything you're worth to get this singular game and then try to build on that.
You're absolutely right. Or your opponent's on the hill and you have two. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Vitali Patsura. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. I'm 19 and my favorite billiard player is Mika Imonin.
My name's Shane Wolford from Roanoke, Virginia. I'm 16 years old, and my favorite player is Skylar Woodward.
And there you had both the players letting you know their name and where they're from and who their favorite player was or is. Getting back to the match here, Mark and I were talking about is taking that break and recouping a little bit. Change your mind. I noticed the USA team is no longer sitting in the seats in the back there. Might be something that Shane requested. I'm not sure. Unless they just took a break and haven't been back yet.
Yeah, I think they took a break as well.
You know, there are times when I've been out there and, you know, in the pool world and seen players that just didn't want anybody sitting behind them and chit-chatting and talking or didn't want to feel the heat. But this is not the situation here. As one of the principles is it's a team play, so they are out on break. All right, a little safety here, I believe. Cue ball behind the 3-4 area. Just brushing the one ball and bringing it towards the center.
It's going to be an effective shot. So the upper hand in the ball distribution goes to Europe now in this particular rack. Shane needs to be threading the cue ball between the 6 and 8, 3 rails. He's looking at going below the 8. He's going to have to warp that in there with some backspin then.
I don't like it.
Well, the table is playing short, so that will assist.
Yeah, but you're gonna lose the one order cue if he hits it.
Well, he missed it by quite a little bit, so that was, like you said, probably not the best way to go at it if you miss it by more than a diamond.
Well, no, he could have went at it either way, but I like, you know, when you're bending the cue ball like that at an angle, you really got to hit it with warp speed, right? But if you're coming in on a natural angle like you originally stated between the 6-8, you got a chance of just slow rolling that cue ball and just making that one touch the rail, and the 2 ball was lying on that side, creating some kind of a problem for your opponent.
Well, in either event, it was not an easy hit at all. It was
No,
an
not
awkward
at all.
3-railer.
Sure was.
Extension used.
Extension called, and it looks like we're going to see the nice draw stroke by Vitali here also. He hit us with one with the 3-4 ball in one of the racks.
Like to work the cue ball closer. Very nicely struck, perfect speed. Good control, freed the cue ball from the side cushion, and it got relatively straight on the 2, so he's got some nice choices in front of him.
He took a look to see if he can get past the 3 ball without touching it at all, but he knew he couldn't, so he did brush it and played the right speed so that he can maintain position for the 3. You know, some of the talent that these youngsters are just shooting right here, Mark. Lost the terminology I was wanting to mention, but it's just beyond some of the play that I've seen from players this age.
Right. And they're playing pro players, you know, often, so they're used to being scorched and scalded and
Right.
have recognized some of the shots that players of less experience wouldn't.
Not only do they get to play pro players if they win a couple of events, but they also get hotel fees and travel fees to get to the event, and you know, put them up and entries into the tournament. That seasoning really means a lot.
At this age, I should say, you're playing world-class players. Played the economy route there. Just draw it back 8 inches.
The economy route.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're going to see a 1 cushion shot. Have the cue ball lodge against the cushion just below the side pocket and have it bounce itself free.
He's going to have to hit it, though.
Yeah, not a lot to do with this shot, but yeah. It's on angle and fairly close range. You should be able to handle it. Worked the cue ball real good.
Shot Mr. Patsura threatening to go on the hill here.
And he cashes that in. Errant kick shot by Shane. Yeah, Patsura, he's got a lot of momentum. You can see his confidence, his breathing. He's calm. He looks very confident.
You know, there was a couple unforced errors from both players, right? In the opening of this set right here. But seemed like Mr. Vitali has had maintained control for the last at least 3 racks.
Yeah.
Solid control of it. And it's nothing Shane can do but sit there and just watch him.
And that win was brought on by a great safety play there that forced Shane to have to kick a couple rails and maybe even warp the cue ball a little bit, which naturally is tough. Well, Shane, you just need to win 1 rack. That's all you can do on this particular inning.
1 at a time.
You know, it's hard to say that opening rack, Shane missed the ball because he was split-minded. He was undecided about his position and then missed a routine 2. And you say, well, that was just 1 shot. But sometimes that shakes your confidence thereafter. You start off rocky, and then that can kind of mitigate the quality of the performance you're capable of giving.
And not only because you did it, because we've all done it, and they've done it themselves, but now you're doing it in front of your home fans. You know, you have a lot of people out here supporting you. And
yeah, any kind of a little glitch in your confidence is exposed and exaggerated in this forum.
Right.
At home in your little local pool room or at home in your pajamas, so you can recover easily.
Right. Here we go. 1 and 3 go in. The 4 ball passes the head string. It's a legal break. The 2 ball is open right between the 8 and 9, right underneath the referee.
Well, this is going to be a shooting opportunity now. Not an easy 2 ball at all, but it could lead to a break and run out if he was successful.
Now, if you guys were tuned in yesterday, Shane actually played a push-out, long distance, and he was, I think it was Mr. Vitali, right? Gave him the shot back. Not sure if it was Vitali, but Shane fired it right in the jaws. So
this is that little tester where you can easily have a stroke breakdown, and what we look for particularly with this one is any body or head movement or a quick transition from backswing to foreswing. Both those things will compromise accuracy significantly. Left-handers traditionally are smooth on their transitions. Good eye pattern, stayed still, and that was a quality effort. There's nothing to be ashamed of on that miss. Disappointing, yes, but it wasn't poor technique. Patsura seems to think he can back cut the 2, and then naturally he'd have to run the cue ball in the clutter, so the other option would be to play safe. He didn't get a rail. That's going to be a foul. If Shane could stay in line here, it would bolster his confidence. If he has to end up being a shot maker to get out from here, it doesn't enhance anything.
Right, right.
Even though you collect the game.
Shot clock down at 19 seconds in the background.
Yeah, this will be the time to use your extension. He's looking at going 3 cushions around and play the 6 ball in the far corner rather than the near corner.
Extension used.
So that means he has more angle than he wanted, which means his ball and hand shot wasn't quite as effective as it could have been. There's a good look at Mike Pinoza.
Might under-hit this a little bit. Oh, he's okay. Cool, calm, and collected right now, and should get him out of this rack. And like you said, his confidence level will pick up. The only thing about it is it's Euro's next break. So he's got to hope that Mr. Patsura shall Shane win this game. Doesn't pocket a ball in the next break or turns the table back over to him. And there you see Vitali, Patsura. And Shane just at the office doing what he's supposed to do.
Plays with a peach hour cue. I love the quality of those cues. And you look at the shaft, it's got the points in the shaft too. I always thought that was really cool. But I always had a lot of shafts, so I couldn't afford to have multiple shafts with points in them. So anyway.
Here we go with a 9 ball.
All right, good. Wolford
USA is, sorry, Mark, but USA is not under it yet. They're still hungry. It's now 5-3.
Wolford cashes in ball in hand.
And I believe it is Euro's break, right? It is Patsura's break. Didn't Shane just break that? Upstate
Yes,
Owl doesn't
yes.
remember what he had for breakfast, trust me.
I know what Upstate
There's
Owl
Mike
had.
Pinoza, Johnny Archer. And
They're laughing, having a good time.
little Nicky, I call him, Nick Warner. And there is David Carr,
Yeah,
Serena Black's coach, right behind Nick Warner.
in the blue shirt with the Moscone Cup embroidery.
And some of the alternate players for the USA, if they...
Yeah, I saw Tyler Howell and Sierra Reams there. Team Europe looks to be avid Facebookers. That's in between racks.
Either that or they're watching us on the stream and wondering what we're saying.
That could be it.
Technology today. Why would you have an earphone in, right?
Right. That's true.
Okay, how comes the inspection once again? Because players have noticed that there was very minimal space in between sometimes.
And sometimes players are looking for a particular pattern or set of idiosyncrasies with the rack that would allow them to maybe choose a particular side to be more advantageous. Yet, the case has been everybody has broke from the same place.
Let's watch it and make sure it's a legal break here.
8 ball in the wing. 8 ball finds the pocket. 1 ball finds the pocket, and it's going to be a legal break. Not much of a shot on the 2, however.
Well, he's eyeing up the combination shot. This is a shot that really takes a lot to figure out. It's not just aiming and seeing where you got to hit the 2 ball. You got to know where the 2 ball and where the cue ball is going to be after you come in contact. He hit it like he meant it, and he hit it good.
That was a heck of a shot there. That's World-class pool right there, my friend. He broke and ran one rack earlier in the set, and this would be, there's nothing like breaking and running out on the hill. That's pure class. So he has an opportunity for that. Looks like he's trying to draw between the rail and the 5-ball back there. We've already noted that he has a tremendous draw stroke.
Does he try to get that perfect on the draw, or does he just accept the longest shot? Yet to be seen right here. Well, we might have a little angle to bring it up the other side.
No, he did. Yeah. Good call, Al. And he could take a little chance because it was unlikely to get behind the 5 as long as you overhit it just a hair. Team Europe having a good laugh. Making fun of her commentary, no doubt.
The conspiracy theorist.
That's a good position play there because now
Beautiful.
you can free the cue ball from the rail and play the 6 on the side.
And just follow up and come down for the 7-ball. Well, you know what? I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. And I'm hoping that it doesn't end right now. Okay?
Yeah. No, that's right.
I want to see USA come up with another point and just put a little bit of heat on Mr. Patsura and see how he handles it.
Yeah, he got a little the wrong angle there. That was probably the, well, maybe not. Not much.
Can he get away with cheating the pocket a little bit and go forward? He's
sizing
sizing it up.
I think he's just got to play a long shot, or a longer mid-range shot here and just roll forward. I don't think anything cute needs to be done.
That's it.
You know, one thing I would say, and maybe it's because they have the lead, but it does seem like the chemistry, the bonding of the European team is just a hair stronger. Maybe.
Really?
I
I
really do
kind
feel
of
that
see it
way.
myself equal, so, okay.
Just watching their body language around each other, they seem a little bit more relaxed.
Well, you are a little bit more relaxed when you're in the lead with 4-2 and total points.
And that might be what I'm seeing, too. So.
Yeah.
Looks like he's queuing down to use a little power on this and stun it around. Beautiful. He's going to close out this match with yet a second break and run out. And that would mean that 33% of the racks that he won were break and run outs. That's professional world-class play. Yeah,
there you have it. Team Euro, Mr. Patsura defeats Shane Wolford by a score of 6-3. Mr. Mark Wilson, you got something to say, sir?
Well, you know what? I thought just a little steadier performance from the European team there, and they put themselves back in front of this match, 5-2.